Now we'll conduct a tension test or a tensile test on a mild steel. This tensile test is conducted according to a standard known as ASTM, which is American Standard for Testing Machines, we call. Now, by using this standard, we use an instrument known as UTM. We use an instrument known as UTM, which is Universal Testing Machine. Using this, we'll be testing it. So, when you test it, first of all, you have to know how the specimen should look like. How the specimen should look like. Now, if this is my specimen, you can just see. Specimen will be of such type like this. So, in this one, what we do is we take a gauge length. Fine. Why? Because the gauge length, a fixed gauge length we take, that this is our gauge length we call. This is a gauge length we have, and this gauge length is 2 inch, where the diameter of this one is 0.5 inch. Please do remember, the diameter of this one is 0.5 inch, but the gauge length is 2 inch. ये आपको क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है कि mild steel, when we test mild steel, what is the gauge length of mild steel or what is the diameter of the mild steel? Similarly, if you see, and using this one, what happens, as today the student, those who have visited our college, they know how the instrument, like how the UTM looks like. If this is my upper jaw, fine. Similarly, I will be having my lower jaw. If this is my lower jaw, this whatever mild steel is there, we will fix between these two jaws. Fine. Now this is my mild steel. You can see here. Fine. So this is my mild steel. Here I have fixed my mild steel, and we try to apply the force. ये ऐसा हमारा UTM का machine था ऐसा. So this was our UTM machine. Now on this one we apply a force, which means apply a force in terms of, if this is my rounded specimen, ये rounded ही है बेटा. So when you apply a force, this is a tensile force. Yes or no? Whatever we apply, this is a tensile force. So what happens when you fix this one in UTM and when you try to pull it down? Fine. This jaw is, lower jaw is movable. Upper jaw is not movable. Upper jaw is fixed. So lower jaw can pull that mild steel. So a tensile force has been applied on that. Now, when you apply this tensile force, what happens? How the graph looks like? What is going to happen? So that all will be learning here. So you just why, and this graph is very important. Previously also, if you see toughness, modulus of toughness, or even if you see resilience, modulus of resilience or anything, I have just drawn this diagram. So this will be a straight line initially, then we have a curve, then slowly it goes down, then we have a straight line, and then we have a sudden jump. So this diagram, if you just see, this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis. On my x-axis, we have strain. We have strain, which is epsilon in this direction. In this direction, if you talk, we have stress. We have stress, and that is sigma, and that is sigma. So this is my stress, and this is my strain. Now, when you try to apply a force, when you are going to pull it, tension मतलब क्या है उसको pull करना. When you try to pull it, what is happening there? There you can see we have located a different points A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So these are the different, why we have located, I'll even explain you that, don't worry. Why we have located these points? Because whenever you apply a load, fine, as I have explained you, Hooke's law has to be followed, then we have proportionality limit, like then we have upper yielding point, then we have lower yielding point, then we have yielding plateau, then we have ultimate limit, then we have fracture, fine, then we have breaking. तो इसीलिए उसके हिसाब से हमने ये points दिया है. Fine. So if you just see, I'll explain you how the points look like and what are the points actual. So one after the other we'll see. So if you can see this diagram, what is point A? What is point A? If you see here, point A is your proportionality limit. Point A is your proportionality limit. Is your proportionality limit. Second one, B, is your elastic limit. Is your elastic limit. Similarly, if you come with your C, what is C? C is your upper yielding point. Upper yielding point. Similarly, D is your lower yielding point. See here, one after the other, I am just explaining it very clearly. What are the different points which we have located? So that if you just see, that if you see, so D is our lower yielding point, and if you see from D to E, if you see from D to E, what is happening? D to E, is there any change in the stress? Is there, you can see a constant, we have strain, but the stress if you see, fine. तो यहाँ पे अगर हम जब लिखेंगे D to E, this is known as your yielding plateau. We call it as yield. Upper yielding और lower yielding आया ना, तो इसलिए हम इसको बोलते हैं yield plateau. PLATE, which is known as yield plateau. Similarly, if you see with your EF, if you see with your EF, what EF will tell? EF will tell that it is a strain hardening. This EF is your strain hardening. EF is your strain hardening. Similarly, F to G if you go, F to G is your strain softening. Is your strain softening. Is your strain softening, or we even call it as necking. Necking region, we even call this as here necking region. Similarly, F, what is point F then? Point F is your ultimate stress, ultimate stress, and G, if you see, G is your breaking point. G is your breaking point. Now you can just see all the points here which we have which I have written it here. तो यहाँ से आप देखोगे तो what happens when you apply a load, when you apply a load, so what happens, you can see stress, you can see strain. Fine. Whenever you apply a load, slowly this curve goes like this, like a straight line. A straight line you can see. But in this straight line, if you see, we have proportionality limit, we have elastic limit. Yes or no? This A is your proportionality limit, B is your elastic. Now slowly what happens when you increase the load, at certain time, at certain point, you'll be getting your yielding. You'll be getting your yielding. The upper point is your yield. उसके नीचे का जो आएगा सडनली क्या हो जाएगा, वहां पे आपका स्ट्रेस कम हो जाएगा, आपका स्ट्रेस कम हो जाएगा. तो वो कर्व आप देख सकते हो, द कर्व which falls down, that is our lower yielding point. And here you can see we have a constant stress. Is the stress changing from D to E? No, it is not going to change. So this D to E is known as yielding. C क्या है हमारा, C और D yielding था ना, अपर yielding और लोअर yielding. तो ये yielding के बिहेवियर में ही हो रहा है. तो C to D we call it as our yielding plateau. So this is our yielding plateau. Now similarly what happens from E, it requires more load, it requires more strength to deform that mild steel, to deform that member. तो उसको ज्यादा सा लोड चाहिए ना, तो उसको ही हम बोलते हैं कि स्ट्रेन. आपको देखो यहाँ पे अभी स्ट्रेन हार्डनिंग. स्ट्रेन को आपको हार्ड, स्ट्रेन का मतलब क्या है, आपको चेंज इन डायमेंशन, वो डायमेंशन को आपको और लोड देना है और आपको उसको चेंज करना है, आपको फील करना है. तो दिस E to F is known as our strain hardening. Similarly, F to G, it is coming down. Yes or no? You don't require any loading. लोडिंग कम हो रहा है, बट E से आपको लोड ज्यादा हो रहा है, बट F to G लोड कम हो रहा है. तो यहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं स्ट्रेन सॉफ्टनिंग. We call it as a strain softening. So these are the different points here. Similarly, F is your ultimate stress. ये देखो ये सबसे ऊपर रहता है. This one if you see, this is the highest point. F point, whatever we take, it is the highest point, which means that it has ultimate stress it has. Similarly, G if you go, it is a breaking. वहां पे हमारा specimen fail हो जाता है. So here if you just see one after other, we'll go OA. OA, ये O से start हो गया बेटा point. So O to A if you take, OA we call it as the material, whatever material is there, it will regain its original position, regain its original position. Similarly, if you talk with your OA only, the same specimen if you talk, it follows Hooke's law. This follows Hooke's law. It obeys Hooke's law, you can write if you want, or Hooke's law is valid till your A point. Till your A point. Now if you go beyond A, which is A to B, if you go, from A to B if you go, the material will regain its original position. No problem. Material will regain original position. This is okay, but here if you see, here in this point it will not obey Hooke's law. Hooke's law is not valid. So here you can write Hooke's law is not valid. अगर वो पॉइंट ए के बियॉन्ड अगर चले गया ना तो Hooke's law will not be valid. So you have to concentrate there. If it is less than point A, Hooke's law will be valid, but if it is crossing point A, then the Hooke's law will not be valid. So similarly, we'll come with our next point. So if you see with your next point, we have CD. We have CD. Now if you see with your CD point, if you see with your CD, CD is what? We have yield. Yes or no? CD is known as our yielding. So let us come with upper yielding, let us come with our lower yielding. Upper yielding point, lower yielding point. We have upper yielding point C, so you can write as point C. This is point D. Fine. So if you see it here, point C or point D. Now we have upper yielding point and lower yielding point. So upper yielding point is nothing but here the yielding starts. Here the yielding starts, and if you talk with your upper yielding point, this is not used or this is not considered for your design. This is not considered for any design purpose. जब हम column, beam, slab, whatever we design ना, we will not consider our upper yielding point, but we will consider our lower yielding point. So you can write this one. Here already the yielding has started, then the yielding will not start here. But you can consider here that it is used to consider or it is considered for design. It is considered for design purpose. So whatever design we'll have for the design purpose, it is being used. Now similarly, if you see with your DE point, if you see DE, as I said, this is your yield plateau. These are yield plateau. Now if you see with your yield plateau, what is going to happen? Now in the yield plateau, if you concentrate, as I said, yield plateau, stress is constant. Yes or no? Stress is not going to change. Stress is constant, but the strain is changing. So here you can write the material continuously deforms without increasing in the stress. So you can write that material continuously deform without change in stress. There is no change in stress. D to E if you consider. Fine. So if you consider from D to E point, there is no change in the stress, but there is continuous deformation. What is deformation? Deformation is a strain. Yes or no? So there is continuous deformation from point D to point E, but the stress remains constant. Yes or no? But the stress remains constant. Now here if you see how this material will fail, you have to concentrate that. Previously my material was like this. It is in a circular bar. Fine. So what happens whenever you apply a load? So slowly this material changes length. Slowly what happens? This material diameter it changes. When you apply, why? Because you are applying a force. When you apply a force, due to this force, what happens? The material's diameter at some point it is going to change. As there is a change in dimension, you can see a stress. Yes or no? जैसा हमारा dimension का change है, वैसा इसीलिए हमारे कन stress या हमारे कन strain available है. So after this one, when you still apply the force, अगर आप continuously और apply करते जा रहे हो, तो ये क्या होगा? It fails in a shape of a cup and a cone. So I'll show you here only. So this is my cup and a cone shape material. So this is the same material which fails in a shape of a cup and a cone. Yes or no? So ये देखो आपको cup, this is your cone. It fails like this. And even if you see the failure here, it will be exactly 90 degrees. If you fail it, ये कैसा fail होता है? मतलब ये ऐसा cone कैसा fail होता है ना? तो ये angle अगर आप check करोगे, तो the angle will be exactly 45 degrees. So that you have to remember. So here if you see, these are the salient points of the stress strain diagram. Whenever you get in your examination, you have to remember which has to be considered. Why? Because this one you can see whether you will consider your upper yielding point or whether you will consider your lower yielding point for your design. How does it fails? It fails in a shape of a cup and a cone. What is the angle it has? Where does the ultimate stress remains? Fine. And till where the Hooke's law is valid, whether it is valid till elastic limit or it is not valid till elastic limit. So this all we have to consider. Now similarly, if you see this diagram, if you see this diagram is only for your mild steel. Yes or no? This diagram which I have shown you, this diagram is only for your mild steel. But if you have different diagrams, like if you have different materials, I should not tell diagram. If you have different materials, so we will draw for that. So for mild steel, already you know. So this is the diagram for your mild steel which we are drawing. Similarly, if you take the other thing is nothing but if this is for your mild steel, यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो आप. This is for my mild steel diagram. It is. Similarly, if you draw for your higher strength. So if you draw for your higher strength, this is for your Fe 415 steel. This is for your Fe 500.
काय
You can unmute.
हो
Please, the students, you can unmute. And similarly, if you just see here,
हं?
if you just see here, the other materials also.
ऐकू येते काय ते लावलं तरी
नाही
Diksha, please unmute yourself.
काय ते लावलं तरी
Now is it visible, everyone? Hello, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the other materials, even if you consider, this was my strain, this was my stress. If you take other materials like Fe 500, we took Fe 415. How the diagrams looks. Similarly, we even have cast iron. So this is my cast iron. And similarly, again we have your aluminium. Fine. Then we have our cork. Then we have concrete. Then we have rubber. So this is concrete. This is rubber. So you can say concrete is more elastic than rubber. आपको ऐसा लगता है कि रबर बहुत elastic है, ऐसा नहीं है. पहले concrete भी है elastic. Then we have our mild steel. All the diagrams you can see here. Fine. Now I think you all know what is your E value for your like mild steel. E value for your steel. I think you already know. Why? Because if you see here, this diagram is a straight line. Yes or no? यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो. This diagram is exactly a straight line. तो वहाँ पे आपको एक triangle form होता है. Fine. Right angle triangle form होता है. Fine. Why I am telling you, because you can see here for steel. If you talk for steel, E is 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. ये तो आपको पता ही है. ये this I think everyone knows. Fine. E is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton square. Depending on E only, for the other materials, we have to calculate how is the relationship. How is the relationship between the other material? So if you see with the relationship, E for wood, E for wood, if you take, E for wood is 1 by 8 to 1 by 15 times of your E of your steel. So you can write as ST. Similarly, E for your concrete, if you take, it is 1 by 10 to 1 by 20 of your E of your steel. Similarly, E of your cast iron, if you take, it is like half of the steel. Similarly, E of your aluminium, if you take, sorry, this is E of steel by 3. Area नहीं आता है. E of like Young's modulus of steel upon its 3. Why we are doing this one? Because if you see this triangle, whatever we have given, this is my strain, this is my stress. Yes or no? And if you want to calculate your theta, then I will go with my tan theta. So what will be my tan theta? If you see, what will be my tan theta? Can anyone tell me? Yes. Can anyone tell me what will be my tan theta? Yes. Can I write this stress upon its strain? Then theta value, if you take, is tan inverse of stress upon its strain. But what is stress upon its strain? Is your Young's modulus. E is your stress upon its strain. So can I write this theta is equal to tan inverse of capital E. Why? Because capital E, I know the value. It is 2 into 10 to the power 5. And if you do 2 into 10 to the power 5, theta value here you will be getting it as 89 degrees 99 minutes, which is equal to here 90 degrees. मतलब हमारा जो है वो exactly 90 degrees में वो curve है. हमारे को दिखता है बहुत माइन्यूटली दिखता है, but it is exactly to the 90 degrees whatever curve we are drawing it. So from this only we have to prove that how it is related with your wood, how it is related with your concrete, how it is related with cast iron, aluminium or something. So this formulas you have to still remember it. Fine. So यहाँ पे आप एक note लिख सकते हो. If you want to write an important note, you can just write greater the value of E, greater or more the value of E, more the material will be elastic. More the material, like if E value is more, what happens to the elasticity? Elasticity also increases. More the material will be elastic. Please you remember that. जैसा हमारा elasticity ज्यादा होता है, fine, it is not dependent on the elasticity, it is dependent on your Young's modulus. If Young's modulus is more, then even your elasticity is more. And even if you see here, steel is more elastic than rubber. Yes or no? Steel आपको इतना घट दिखता है, but steel अगर आप देखो तो mild steel Fe415, Fe500, this is really very much higher than your rubber. Rubber देखो कितना है? Rubber has very less elasticity when compared with your steel, when compared with your Fe415 or Fe500. Fine. So after this one, क्या होता है जब हम डिजाइन करते हैं ना, when we design it, तो डिजाइन कैसा करते हैं? पहली बात तो how will we design it and उसको पैरामीटर्स कैसा लेना चाहिए and everything. Why? Because always you will not be having the same material. सेम मटेरियल आपका नहीं है तो क्या करना चाहिए? तो उसके हिसाब से अगर आपको डिजाइन करना है, क्या डिजाइन करना है? डिजाइन इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर स्ट्रेंथ. यस और नो? तो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हो? वी डोंट हैव अ डेफिनाइट यील्ड पॉइंट. We don't have a definite yield point. YP बोलते हैं yield point. We don't have a definite yield point. So if we don't have definite yield point, now let us take an example. यहाँ पे कैसा मतलब, मैंने आपको एक डायग्राम बताया था. In this diagram for mild steel, you know where we are yielding. Upper yielding पता है, lower yielding पता है, तो it is quite easy. तो यहाँ से मैं ले सकता हूँ. हाँ, इसके हिसाब से मेरे को डिजाइन करना है तो डिजाइन, I'll design. But if you see with the other materials, like if you see with the other diagram, अगर आप Fe415 लो, 500 या कॉर्क या कंक्रीट या रबर या एनी मटेरियल, does we have yielding point? Do we have any yielding point here? कहीं आपको yielding point दिख रहा है क्या? No. Yielding point हमारे को कहीं पे भी नहीं दिख रहा है. Fine. So हमारे को कैसा करना चाहिए? But मुझे yielding point तो चाहिए डिजाइन करने के लिए. Let us take an example. This is the graph I have got. This is the graph actually I have. Fine. So here, this is my maximum EF, which is strain, fine, and this is my stress. So what we will do? So what we will do when we don't have, when यहाँ पे definite yield point is not there, yielding point अगर नहीं है तो क्या करते हैं आप? यहाँ पे देखिए, ये आपको important है, आपको एग्जाम में पूछेगा. तो हम क्या करते हैं? In a strain, we take at a distance of 0.2% of EF. ये EF जो है ना, मैक्सिमम उसका जो वैल्यू रहता है, उसको हम क्या करते हैं? उसका 0.2% of EF E2 we'll take, and by taking that we will just draw a parallel line. We just draw. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, ये है ना लाइन, इसको exactly parallel line we draw. Exactly parallel line we draw to this one. And where does it cut? And where does it cut the material? Wherever it cuts the material, that point is considered to be in a design. तो ये point लेके हम इसके हिसाब से हम डिजाइन शुरू करते हैं. Fine. So this one you have to remember it. What distance he'll ask you? What is the percentage he'll ask you? Not distance. He'll ask you a percentage. Percentage is 0.2% of EF. So this point, whatever we have, this is known as our proof stress. This is known as our proof stress. Fine. Or this is used to for your design yield stress or design yield point. This is our design yield stress. ये आपको याद रखना है बेटा, बहुत से लोग आपको ये पूछेंगे. Or like most of the competitive exams, this question will be raised. if there is no definite yield point, then for a design purpose, how will we define a yield point? Then we will define a yield point according to our maximum EF, which is a strain. Yes or no? ये मटेरियल का मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेन मिल गया हमारा, उसका अगर आप 0.2% लोगे और उसको अगर पैरेलल ड्रॉ करोगे, ये लाइन को इनिशियली आपको इंक्लाइन स्ट्रेट लाइन मिलेगा, उसको अगर आप पैरेलल डालोगे, and where does it go and meet? So this point, any point you take point P, this point is known as our the design yielding stress. So using that one only we will be designing it. And in this one, if you see, last one we have a concept of tenacity. In here, this like not this lecture, but if you see here, what is meant by tenacity? He might ask you. आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, what is meant by tenacity? Tenacity is nothing but it is a material which has high tensile strength. You have to just remember, a material which has a material which has high tensile strength. Please do remember this, tenacity, tensile, tenacity, tensile. यहाँ पे देखो tensile, yes or no? Tensile का मतलब 10, यहाँ पे देखो tenacity. Tenacity is high tensile strength. यहाँ पे आपको इतना याद रखना है. Tenacity का मतलब है कि जहाँ जिस मटेरियल को ज्यादा टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ है, वो मटेरियल को हम tenacity बोलते हैं. Is it audible, everyone? Yes, you have to respond me. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, clearly दिख रहा है बेटा?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us come with our next concept. Next concept का मतलब है कि ये हमारा strain energy हो गया था. We have done with our strain energy. Now if you come with the next concept, we have to learn about what is stress. पहली बात तो आपको what is pressure and what is strength. You have to know this. You have to know what is your strength, what is your stress, and what is your pressure. So can anyone tell me what is pressure or strength or stress? किसी को कुछ idea है तो? If any one of you have any idea like what is pressure, what is strength, or what is stress, anyone can explain. No problem. Yes, anyone can explain.
Force per unit.
No idea.
Pressure.
It is not audible. Can you just tell me loud?
Force per
Hello?
unit area.
That is a formula. That is okay. That is stress. That is an exact formula. What are you talking? It is force per unit area. Force per unit area, if you take, that is my stress. That is good. That is a formula that we have to accept it. Now, what is then pressure or what is strength then? Pressure क्या है और strength क्या है? Fine. So okay. If you don't know, we will go. No problem. So if we take with our first one, which we will talk first about pressure, and then we will come with our stress. So what is pressure? Pressure is nothing but whenever we have a material, if this is my material which is resting on a ground, and when you apply a force F or whenever you apply a force P on some area A, fine. So what is happening on this area? You see, you are applying, आप एक pressure डाल रहे हो ना? Yes or no? You are applying some pressure, you are applying some load. So this pressure, if you talk, this pressure, if you talk, which we can write as P upon its A, which is external normal force per unit area, is your pressure. What is pressure? It is external normal force. It is external normal force per unit area. Per unit area is my pressure. Now let us come with our next one. What is the next one? Next one is stress. Next one is stress. If you talk about here stress, then what is stress? Stress तो आपको पता ही है. Fine. What happens? अभी आप देखो. If this is my material, same material I have, when you apply a force P on the area A, due to this one, what is happening? There is a change. There is a change. Yes or no? There is a change. यहाँ पे आपको पता था. When you apply it, तो slowly ये इसका dimension यहाँ तक हो गया, तो ये delta. There is a change in the dimension. And because of this change in the dimension, there is some resonance. Resonance का मतलब है इसके वजह से ही वो हुआ ना. जब आप लोड लगाते हो, when you apply a load on a material, what happens? That due to that load, there is some change in the dimension. So when there is some change in the dimension, there is a resonance which is formed in the material. So here you can write what is stress. Stress is nothing but it is the internal resistance. It is the internal resistance developed by the deformable body due to externally applied, external से applied कर रहे हैं ना हम, P apply कर रहे हैं ना, externally applied load producing deformation. देखो ये फॉर्मूला P by A ही है. Fine. Here stress is also P by A, pressure is also P by A. But if you see here, pressure is nothing but this is internal resistance. वहां पे वो मटेरियल ऑटोमेटिक उसका इंटरनल रेसिस्टेंस डेवलप करता है. Yes or no? It develops its own internal resistance. So that internal resistance developed by a material when an externally applied load, when you have applied an external load, there is some deformation in the body. So that is known as our stress. Now, if you talk with your stress only, stress is again divided into two types. I think I have explained you. Stress, if you talk, stress has been divided into two types. First one is your average stress. Second one is your engineering stress. First one is your average stress. Second one is your engineering stress. One thing I just wanted to tell you here, which is a note you can write. Note, I wanted to ask to the students whether strain comes first or stress comes. जब हम UTM में टेंशन करे थे ना, if this is my material, when you have applied a force like this, fine, in a tension test, which one will come first? Strain पहले आएगा या stress? Strain पहले आएगा या stress? Yes, I want it from the student. Which one will come first? Whether strain will come or stress will come? What is going to come first? Fine, if you don't know, we will explain. So here you see, note that is the reason I just want to tell that the strain comes first. Because of the strain only, it causes a stress. So strain is the cause for stress. This is important. Most of the students always they think that stress comes first. Always they think that the stress comes first, but it is wrong. Strain comes, and strain is the only cause for your stress. Because of strain only, there is a stress. If strain is not there, there is no stress. So that is the reason you can see strain is the main cause of your stress. Now the last thing, if you see, we have strength. Strength. I have explained you pressure, I have explained you stress, and I am going to explain you what is strength. Strength, if you see, what is meant by strength? Strength, it will be in a material. Yes or no? वो material का property है. So here you can write, it is a material property. It is a material property. Fine. Now in this one, if you see, in this strength only, if you compare, it has a constant, the material will be constant throughout. Is it going to change anywhere? आप कौन सा तो एक material लो आप, find here, somewhere if you cut, it is the same material. It is not a composite material. Fine. So that is the reason, if you see, maximum value of stresses here, which material can withstand without failure, is known as our strength. What is strength? जितना वो maximum load bear कर सकता है, फाइन, जितना वो मैक्सिमम लोड बेयर कर सकता है, वो लोड को ही हम स्ट्रेंथ बोलते हैं. नाउ लेट अस कम विद आवर क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ योर स्ट्रेसेस. आई एम गोइंग बिट फास्ट. व्हाई? बिकॉज सिर्फ टाइम पास हो रहा है और हमारे को बहुत कम पढ़ने मिल रहा है, तो इसलिए हम जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ते हैं. सो लेट अस कम विद आवर क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ योर स्ट्रेसेस. नाउ इफ यू सी क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ स्ट्रेस, stress, if you see, if it is basically divided into two types. Basically, it is divided into two types. First one is a normal stress. We have normal stress. Second one we have is your shear stress. Second one we have is about here shear stress. Now even if you see with your normal stress, this normal stress is again divided into two types. First one is here direct normal stress. Direct normal stress. Second one is indirect. Indirect normal stress. So first one is about your direct normal stress, second one is about your indirect normal stress. Fine, but we will talk here clearly. Now if you see with your normal stress, what is normal stress? Normal stress is nothing but the forces whatever we apply, which the force which apply on a material will be perpendicular. I'll show you an example. If this is my material, on this material, see, I am just applying a force. So on this area, I am applying a perpendicular load, is known as our normal stress. But if you take any material, if this is a material, and if you apply a force like this on the air, if you apply a force like this, which is along, the stress is acting along or tangential, you can tell, which is a tangential. So यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, a tangential force is acting. That force or the stress which is developed due to that force is our shear stress. But a load which is perpendicular to the material, that and the stress which is developed due to that loading is known as our normal. Fine. So normal stress पता हो गया आपको, shear stress पता हो गया. Now we'll come with our direct. Now we'll come with our direct normal stress. Now we'll come with our direct normal stress. Now if you see with here direct normal stress, direct normal stress. Fine. In this direct normal stress, this direct normal stress is also been divided into two types. First one is here tension. Second one is here compression. This is again divided into two types. Here you can take. First one is here टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस हमने पढ़ा था, कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस भी हमने पढ़ा था, तो वो आपको डायरेक्ट नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस में आएंगे. इन डायरेक्ट नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस यू विल बी गेटिंग. Fine. In this one, what happens? A tensile stress, stress is nothing but when you apply a load like this, a pulling force when you try to pull it. Fine. So if you see with here compression, when you try to push it, when you try to push it. Fine. तो ये आपने बहुत बार पढ़ा है कि what is the tensile stress and what is the compressive stress. Tensile stress is nothing but when you are going to pull it. Compressive stress is nothing but when you are going to push it. Fine. So this was about here direct. Now if you talk about here indirect normal stress. Now if you talk about here indirect normal stress, in this one what we will get? In this one we will be getting here indirect normal stress will be about here, or you can write, or this is also known as here bending stress, or it is also known as here flexural stress. देखो ये तीनों को भी हम एक ही बोलते हैं, एग्जाम में आ सकता है आपको. What is bending stress known as? Direct tensile stress, indirect tensile stress, या tension test, या compression test. He might ask you anything. Fine. Bending stress or flexure stress or your indirect normal stress, all the three are same. यहाँ पे क्या होता है? In this one, whenever we take a material, if this is my material and whenever you try to apply a force, fine. यहाँ पे जब अप्लाई करते हो तो ये मूवमेंट की वजह से ये ऐसा बेंड होता है. It tries to bend like this, yes or no? When it tries to bend like this, this is my neutral axis. Fine. यहाँ पे जब ये bend होता है, this is nothing but our bending stress or flexure test. इसके अंदर in terms of flexure it will fail. ये नीचे से ऐसा fail होता है. Fine. A failure cracks you can see here. This is ये bend हो रहा है ना, तो इसलिए हम bending stress, which is indirect normal stresses it is. So this is failing in flexure. तो इसलिए हम इसको flexure stress भी बोलते हैं. And if you draw the diagram of your, if you draw a stress strain diagram for this one, the variation of the linear curve will be there. Fine. In this one it will have a linear. तो ये देखो आप linear में रहेगा. ये जब आप पढ़ोगे ना आगे जाके तब आपको पता चलेगा. Don't worry. So this is my stress. Tension और compression. ऊपर हमारा क्या है? Above will be my compression, below will be my tension ना. So this is the diagram of your stress strain diagram. Compression और flexion में अगर आप डालोगे तो ये ऐसा आपको diagram दिखेगा. The diagram looks like this exactly. So this is my indirect. So in the normal stress we have completed. Now we will come with our shear stress. Now we will come with our shear. Now we'll come with our shear stress. Now in the shear also, if you see, they have again divided into two types. First one is here direct shear stress. Second one is about your indirect shear stress. प्लीज ये आपको फुल फॉर्म लिखना है, डोंट राइट ए शॉर्ट फॉर्म. ये आपको shear stress SS. सो डायरेक्ट shear stress है हमारे कन, यहाँ पे हमारे कन इनडायरेक्ट shear stress भी है. सो यहाँ पे देखो आपको डायरेक्ट shear stress मैंने आपको डायग्राम बताया था. I have shown you a diagram. Yes or no? If this is my material and if I apply a stress like this, which is a tangential stress, when you apply a tangential stress, इसका डायग्राम अगर आप देखोगे तो डायग्राम will be like this. The diagram will be the variation of the diagram for your direct stress will be like this. Similarly, indirect and like shear stress. If you talk about indirect shear stress, here indirect shear stress will be on your torque, will be on your a torque. Yes or no? So indirect का मतलब भी है ये, और आप लिख सकते हो torsional stress. Torsional stress. Indirect shear stress is also known as your torsional. तो क्या आता है, when you apply a movement like this, when you apply a T movement like this, तो shear यहाँ पे इसको अगर आप डायग्राम देखोगे तो डायग्राम will be like this. This is a diagram for your stress strain diagram. Yes or no? तो ये डायग्राम ऐसा लगेगा. तो ये आपका हो गया है क्लासिफिकेशन. So this was the classification of your stress strain diagram. This is a complete classification of your stress strain diagram. Now we will come with our next and new important topic will come. We will learn about a tensor. We will learn about a tensor, and that tensor will be your stress tensor. Will be stress tensor. Now, if you see here in this one, we have three types. We have three types of our tensor. स्ट्रेस टेंसर में हमारे पास तीन टाइप है. पहला अगर आप देखोगे तो वी कॉल्ड एज टेंसर क्वांटिटी. वी कॉल्ड एज अ टेंसर क्वांटिटी. प्लीज अच्छी तरीके से ये सुनिए, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. टेंसर क्वांटिटी, और दिस इज नोन एज सेकेंड ऑर्डर टेंसर क्वांटिटी. Second order tensor quantity. What happens with this? If you see in this one, if you see this material, whatever we talk, this material will have one magnitude, and two directions. The material which has one magnitude and two directions, such type of a material is known as a tensor quantity, or it is known as second order tensor quantity. अच्छी तरीके से देखिए बेटा, ये पहला था हमारा. तो now we'll go with our second one. Second one, if you see, we called as vector quantity. Or this is first order tensor quantity. Now what is first order? Tensor quantity is nothing but a material. यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो आप, material which has one magnitude and two directions. हो गए ना, यहाँ पे कितने हो गए? एक मैग्नीट्यूड हो गया, दो डायरेक्शंस हो गए. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? यहाँ पे होगा वन मैग्नीट्यूड, एंड यहाँ पे क्या था? सेकंड था, तो इसलिए कितने हैं यहाँ पे डायरेक्शन? टू. यहाँ पे कितना है? फर्स्ट ऑर्डर, तो कितने आएंगे? वन डायरेक्शन. सो यू विल बी हैविंग वन डायरेक्शन. सो a material which has one magnitude and one direction is known as a vector quantity, or it is known as first order tensor quantity. Now last one we will come. Last one is nothing but a scalar. Scalar quantity. Now what is scalar quantity? Scalar quantity is also known as our zeroth order tensor quantity. This is zeroth order. Now in this one, if you see, zeroth order मतलब उसको पता, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि it has only one magnitude It has only one magnitude and it has zero directions. And it has zero directions. ये देखो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बेटा. टेंसर क्वांटिटी, वेक्टर क्वांटिटी, स्केलर क्वांटिटी. These all are here tensor quantities only. Please remember, टेंसर क्वांटिटी इफ यू टॉक दिस इज सेकंड ऑर्डर टेंसर क्वांटिटी. तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो मटेरियल का एक मैग्नीट्यूड और दो डायरेक्शन, टू सेकंड ऑर्डर टू डायरेक्शन, फर्स्ट ऑर्डर वन डायरेक्शन, जीरोथ ऑर्डर जीरो डायरेक्शन. Fine. So I'll give you an examples here now. Now I wanted to give you an example. First one, if you see, which is a tensor quantity. Tensor quantity अगर आप example देखोगे तो stress, we have strain, we have moment of inertia and so on. Similarly, if you go with your vector quantity में क्या है हमारे, एक डायरेक्शन और एक ही मैग्नीट्यूड होना चाहिए. वन डायरेक्शन वन मैग्नीट्यूड. सो फोर्स देखो ना, फोर्स जब लगाते हो आपका मैग्नीट्यूड एक ही है, डायरेक्शन भी एक ही है ना. स्ट्रेस का मतलब क्या है आपको, लोड अपॉन इट्स एरिया. वो स्ट्रेस आपको एक्स में, वाई में, जेड में कहीं पे भी हो सकता है डायरेक्शन, है ना. तो इट माइट बी टू डायरेक्शन ऑल्सो. वही स्ट्रेन में अगर आप देखोगे तो अगर आप ऊपर से दबा रहे हो तो साइड से वो मोटा होता जाएगा. फाइन. तो ये चेंज हो रहा है ना डायरेक्शन, एक्स में दबा रहे हो तो वाई में चेंज हो रहा है, वाई में दबा रहे हो एक्स में चेंज हो रहा है. ऐसा आपको देखना है. फाइन. मैग्नीट्यूड एक ही मैग्नीट्यूड है ना. आई हैव अप्लाइड वन लोड. मैग्नीट्यूड इज नथिंग बट अप्लाइंग अप द लोड. यू आर अप्लाइंग अ लोड ऑन दैट वन, बट द डायरेक्शंस कितने हैं वहां पे, वन डायरेक्शन है, टू डायरेक्शन है, कितने डायरेक्शन है, दैट यू हैव टू लुक. Similarly, here also if you see vector quantity which is first order which has one magnitude and one direction. Force, आपका force an example. ऐसे ही अगर आप दूसरा बताओगे, if you just tell me velocity, yes or no, velocity से आप जा रहे हो direction, yes or no, movement. तो ये आपके हो गए example. Similarly, if you come with an example of your scalar which has one magnitude, zero direction. One magnitude, zero direction. Example is speed, distance, yes or no, etc. So this is the examples. So इसके अंदर किसी को कुछ doubt? Yes, please you have to respond me. Do anyone of you have any doubt in this? In stress tensor. So three tensor we have. ये बहुत important है बेटा, आपको क्वेश्चन में आ सकता है. टेंसर क्वांटिटी, वेक्टर क्वांटिटी. यस
सर, टेंसर क्वांटिटी में टू डायरेक्शन ही होने चाहिए या टू से ज्यादा चलेंगे?
नहीं, टू तक ही चलेंगे. वन मैग्नीट्यूड टू डायरेक्शन जिसी को भी है वो मटेरियल को हम बोलते हैं टेंसर क्वांटिटी.
ओके सर.
हाँ, वैसा ही हमारे वेक्टर भी है, इवन वी आर स्केलर. सो दिस इज अ स्ट्रेस टेंसर. यू कैन सी ऑल हियर. This is known as our stress tensor. Is this okay with everyone? Is this okay with everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Please let me know. If it is okay, can we take 5 to 10 minutes of break?
Yes, sir.
Can we take 5? Yes. Okay. We'll take 10 minutes of break and we will be right back here by now.